or they're gonna sign him to a 1-year contract.
But this is the thing.
He said Josh Rosen's an Enron stock. Oh my God. Yo, that's gonna be the title of this show. That's a good one right there. He said Josh Rosen is Enron stock. Damn, that's cold.
Y'all so disrespectful, bro.
He said
y'all be disrespectful for no reason, bro.
He said my man BH said Teddy can come to Washington because Dwayne Haskins ain't it. So you do not believe
Dwayne Haskins was it? Yes, man. I was at the game. The kid is the goods. He needs to be coached up. He needs a couple. He needs a better. He needs them to get the team right. But the kid's the goods, and he wasn't inaccurate. Look, he might have been nervous his first couple of games. That Redskins offensive line would make anybody nervous. Like, let's be clear about that.
Especially if they lose Brandon Sheriff this year.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, they make you nervous. They're iffy. The kid had happy feet. Most rookie quarterbacks come in and have happy feet like that, especially he didn't play with the starters. They didn't let him play with the starters much during the preseason. They didn't practice him with the starters much during the season. Like, he didn't have any reason to be comfortable with them and comfortable with the situation. So he had to calm his nerves a little bit, but he looked good yesterday. I
agree with DT. He said he's playing good football right now. Like I said, he was 11 or 30. He was 11 or 13 for 132 and 2 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. He looked good yesterday.
I mean, yeah, it's the Giants, but I mean, shouldn't you put somebody who's inexperienced against a team that's some trash so they can get some confidence? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I'd rather put him up against the Giants than the Cowboys next week. But he's not playing against the Cowboys next week. He's already been called. He's already been ruled out. He keeps saying against the Giants. Oh my goodness! BH? What is so wrong with Dwayne Haskins? I need to know what is wrong with Dwayne Haskins. My man Mark says Haskins is okay, but there's no reason for McLaren only to get 4 catches at the end of the game. Seon
I watched the game.
How was McLaren looking towards the end of the game?
One, to be clear, McLaren was not supposed to be our number one.
Yes, Case Keenum did look good yesterday.
He wasn't. McLaren wasn't supposed to be our number one. One, two, they had a safety over the top of him most of the game. Like they slid the safety over to cheat and help a little bit, so he wasn't single covered most of the game, because all season he hasn't been really. He's been catching people deep because you don't know his speed. Mm-hmm. So, like, to be clear, like, relax. Just relax, guys. It's okay. Yeah, but
comments.
They're young. They're going to develop some chemistry. Mm-hmm. He's on his rookie deal. If you're going to have to sign Teddy Bridgewater, you're going to have to figure out Alex Smith. They don't have money to do any of that.
Wait.
And they still have Josh Norman on the books. Like, they don't have – Teddy Bridgewater is going to cost somebody some guap.
Okay, so if you're the Redskins, so what are you going to do? You have Dwayne Haskins, who you picked last year. You got Alex Smith, who knows if he's coming back next year. He's probably out again. And you got Case Keenum sitting there as like the incumbent.
No,
you want to bring Bridgewater in for what?
They're not bringing Bridgewater in, bro. He's going to Miami.
Quarterbacks alone.
That's what I'm saying. You got half your fucking salary on quarterbacks. That's half your salary cap. That's not how that's going to work. So whoever thinking Teddy Bridgewater coming to the Redskins, kill that pipe dream.
My man Mark said McLaren is number one. Do you agree?
He wasn't. He's inconsistent. I need him to get more consistent. Because McLaurin was on my fucking fantasy team. So I watch his stats and the games very closely. The kid's not consistent enough to be a number one. The same way I feel about Amari Cooper. You can't be a number one and then disappear week to week. You can't come out there, blast some terrible team for 150 yards, and then the next fucking game have 25 yards receiving and shit.
You know how personal this Amari Cooper thing is to me.
Oh, I know how that the personal that Amari Cooper thing is to you. That's why I said it.
You know how this shit is. But I'm gonna be real with you. If we hadn't traded Amari Cooper, we wouldn't have Josh Jacobs. So it's kind of like,
Okay.
So Mark says, keep Keenum, trade Trent, and cut everybody else. Okay, Trent Williams is what, 32, 33 years old? He probably got like one, maybe two.
Actually, Trent's probably really rested this year. Trent might have 3 good seasons. He might have 3 Pro Bowl seasons left in him. The thing about Trent Williams is, 1, he's an athlete. He's actually very athletic. 2, he hasn't really had a bunch of injuries.
Who are you gonna trade him to?
You don't trade him. Where are we trading him to? 1, he's under contract. 2,
wait, hold on. He promised he was never going to suit up for the Washington Redskins ever again.
Actually, if you fire the GM and you bring in a new coaching staff, he'd play for them. He actually already said that.
He doesn't like the medical staff. The medical staff is the problem in DC to Trent Williams. You have to get rid of the entire medical staff in order for your best offensive lineman to come play for you. That was his problem. What they say, he had some kind of cancer? And the rest
actually, the Redskins didn't catch it, and he had cancer in his skull. It was like right under the skin. They just told him it was a lump.
To do with anything burgundy and gold. So what you're going,
like I said, things can happen. But who are we trading him to and for what? Who's really you have a disgruntled player? You need something for it, and he's supposed to be a Pro Bowl offensive lineman. You're not trying to trade him for nothing.
He's an All-Pro. You can get at least a third for him. You're not getting anybody that thinks you getting a first with Trent Williams. You need
no. You can get a second though.
You need to pass what you smoke. He can get a third-round pick, and they should have traded him to Cleveland earlier this year. At the trade deadline, they should have traded him to Cleveland. That way, you wouldn't have to worry about this right now. But there's no way in the world he's going to stay in DC. Ain't no way.
We might look.
No.
He may or may not.
I don't see it. He's disgruntled. So what you do is you cut Josh Norman. He's got to go. You sign Brandon Sheriff, your best guard on your offensive line. You keep Case Keenum for a veteran presence for Dwayne Haskins. And then you go out and you find yourself a number 1 receiver in free agency. Because in the draft, you need to find a corner or a linebacker because your linebackers are all old and your cornerbacks are all getting burnt. So you're going to have to focus on defense. Will Chase Young be available at number 2 if you get that pick? Who knows? But
he will.
You need a corner. You need a linebacker. Your defensive line is set, but you need to focus on You need to focus on your secondary, and you need to focus on the back half of your front seven. Question is, who the Redskins going to get in wide receiver? Can you imagine them throwing a whole bunch of money at Amari Cooper?
I would throw off.
They've done this before. Remember Alvin?
We have done it before, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Remember Alvin Harper played? See? Could have traded him to the Jags when they had Ramsey with Josh Norman.
Nah, the Jags wasn't trying to take that contract.
Troy is saying Trent Williams and Josh Norman could have been traded for Jalen Ramsey. But you would have had to throw at least 2 first-round picks in that.
Actually, first, what you need to understand is how trades work. Trades work based on salary. Josh Norman makes a lot, and Ramsey's on his rookie deal. The money wouldn't cross over. So what would happen is if they even gave us Jalen Ramsey, they would have had to trade another big contract with him, or they would have had to mess around and give us a bunch of draft picks. And what they were trying to do is get a bunch of draft picks for him, not give up a bunch of draft picks. So they would never pull that trade off. The salaries have to match or be close. You know what I'm saying? And Trent Williams has a pretty decent sized contract, and so does Josh Norman. You're not going to just trade those two pieces away in one trade. Not at all. It'd have to be some 3-team trade or some shit. You'd have to figure some shit out.
Is that Mason or is that Mason or Ruben?
Mason what?
Foster. They got Mark said they got Foster coming up middle linebacker. I know they had Mason and I know they had Ruben Foster too. I can't remember which one. He says, well, what about Reed and Kerrigan? Kerrigan's cut. He's overpaid unless you want to restructure his contract.
They're talking about restructuring his contract already.
Jordan Reed, too much of an injury risk. I think he's cut.
Bruh. That dude done had a concussion for like 12 games now. I'm not fuck out of here.
Either you cut him, you try to trade him, or you cut him.
I don't even think how much money is he owed? I don't even think he got a big contract or nothing. Like Reed doesn't have a big contract, and Sprinkle is pretty good, man. You trade that dude. Ain't nobody trading for him, man. You got to cut him. And watch, he gonna go somewhere, be healthy, and be looking like a Pro Bowler again.
Let's see. Jordan Reed's contract. Jordan Reed signed a 5-year, $46 million contract with the Redskins.
When?
I believe this is 2016. So it's
okay.
He's got 2 more years on the contract.
How much was his signing bonus?
Signing bonus was $9 million, $22 million guaranteed.
Okay. So $9 million, so $12 million over 5 years guaranteed.
That's correct.
And he's 3 years into that deal. He's 3 years into that deal, so they probably owe him another what, $4 million, give or take.
See, if they get the number 2 pick, then you trade Kerrigan. But outside of Chase Young, if Chase Young decides to come back to school, what do you?
Chase Young's not going back to school, bro.
If he does,
if Chase Young goes back to school, he has people around him that don't love him.
You know, if Chase Young goes back to school, then you trade out of that number 2 pick and you get more picks.
I think if you're the Redskins, you trade out of that pick either way. And trade Chase Young is the goods. Chase Young is the goods, but if I'm being honest, you need offensive line help. You need secondary help. And you can trade out of there. Ohio State actually has a very good corner who's going to be a top 10 pick. You can trade that number 2. You can still get a top 10 pick because teams trade down all the time. You can trade down. You can get that top flight corner and get an extra pick. I think you take that move, get rid of the Josh Norman contract instead of going for the glitz. That's just me. That's just me thinking. You know what I mean? Thinking with some strategy.
Okay.
Chase Young is the goods, but a number 2 overall pick they do get a pretty decent contract. If you're restructuring Kerrigan's contract, if you do have a very solid defensive line, your defensive line is very solid. You need linebacker help and you need corner secondary help. You trade out of that pick and you can get some offensive line. I mean, you can figure some shit out.
Okay, so according to Tankathon, there is a website called tankathon.com. Cincinnati is clinched number 1. Everything else is up in the air.
Okay.
So you've got the Redskins at 30.
Yeah, but if the Redskins,
you've got this. Hold on, you got the Skins at 3-12. You've got Detroit at 3-11-1. Then you've got the Giants, Miami. Those are the top 5 picks. Everything else, pretty much. Nobody really cares. Let's see. Cleveland has the 12th pick. I'm trying to find teams that have more than 1 pick. The only one that I can see right now, you got the Jaguars, who currently hold the 6th pick, and the Rams pick at 20. You've got the Raiders who have 14, and you've got the Chicago pick at 18. Then you've got the Dolphins who have 5 and 19 from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, and the Dolphins also have the 25th pick from the Houston Texans.